Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Golden Hour Drip podcast. I'm your host, Logan Lee Miller, and today's Fast Friday is all about muffins. Now, I know what you're thinking, what the hell do muffins have anything about this? But let me tell you, I like a good muffin, right? And I have been doing this thing where to help me get through my workday, I will go to the coffee shop. I love coffee shops, guys. Like, coffee shops are my literal jam, okay? I love coffee. I love a beverage. And there are so many super cute little coffee shops all around, right? And there is this one coffee shop in particular I love to go and visit. They have homemade pastries. They have muffins, they have cookies, they have danishes, they have all of these good things, right? And so I have been getting a shaken breve, love breve, with like ice, like an iced shaken breve. It tastes like butter popcorn. It is so freaking good. But I've also been getting a snack. Now, I haven't been packing my lunch. I haven't been taking the time to truly love myself, right? Enough to meal prep. And so on the days that I forget to meal prep and I forget to pack like a nutritional meal, I have been just eating a muffin for lunch. That is horrible. It's not great, nutrition purposes, but that is not the point of the story. I've been getting a coffee and I've been getting a muffin. And the first day that I went, they had blueberry muffins. I was like, oh, heck yeah, like I love blueberry muffins. So I got a blueberry muffin with my breve and I took the muffin top off because muffin tops, like they obviously taste better than the bottom part of a muffin. Like I had just read a book that was talking about how someone liked the top of a muffin better and they tried to make a company of, or maybe no, this was a podcast. I don't know. I cannot remember, but it was like a very like synergy moment for me where I was like, oh my gosh, like this is what they were talking about. But I took the muffin top off. I ate the bottom first because I truly believe in putting the work first and then you can have the pleasure later. Like work before play. It's always been my motto. Ever since I was a young girl, my mom always like made me like do the hard thing first before I could get the reward. I think that's how life should be, right? Like you put in the hard work, you get the reward. So this time was no different. Took the muffin top off, I ate the bottom, and this muffin, the bottom was good. Like I was pleasantly surprised. The bottom half was moist and good. And the top was even better, but like the bottom was just as good. And I was like, dang, like what kind of magical muffin is this? The bottom is just as good as the top, right? Not better, but just as good. So I'm eating my muffin and I thoroughly enjoyed this muffin. It was chef's kiss. It was so good. And I was so happy. I was like, that was literally the best muffin ever. It was a great coffee. I had a productive lunch break. Usually I bring my computer and I work on some things for the pod, you know, just like I was so thrilled with that muffin that the next week I was in the same town and on my lunch break I went and I got a coffee and I thought to myself, today I'm going to try a different muffin. And I tried a cinnamon muffin. This muffin was also so freaking good. Same thing. Took the top off, left the bottom, ate the bottom first, then ate the top. Oh my gosh. Ate the top. This one had a crunch. This was like cinnamon, brown sugar, crunchy goodness. It was so freaking good. The bottom was also good. It had caramelized. It was even better than the blueberry muffin. Stay with me, okay? I feel like I've almost lost you. Stay with me here, okay? Stay back. Or come back to me. Like, stay here. It has a point. So, the following week, I come and I'm like, all right, like, that cinnamon muffin was so good. And I was at the cash register and I was thinking, oh my gosh, like which muffin should I choose? Like, should I get the cinnamon? There was chocolate. I'm not really a chocolate girl, but should I be getting the chocolate? Should I be getting the chocolate chip cookies, blueberry muffin? Like every single day we are presented with so many choices, so many things. Should we do this? Should we do that? Where should we spend our time, our energy, right? Like it can be overwhelming. And we can think, what if I make the wrong choice? But we're just talking about muffins, right? So the cinnamon muffin was so good. I was like, you know what? Like I'm going to have another cinnamon muffin. Get the cinnamon muffin. I get a coffee. I think I got like a matcha this day. I got something different than the breve. And I sit down and I get my laptop open and I take the top off and the bottom was dry. The bottom was crumbly. The bottom was not as good as the other muffins. And I was like, I'm not gonna waste the calories. I'm not gonna waste the energy to chew and to swallow this down. I'm going to just throw that part away and I'll eat the top. Like the top will be good, right? Like the top has got to be good. So I take a bite of the top and it is just as bad. It is dry, it is crumbly, it's not hitting. It's not what I wanted. We are presented with all these choices every single day. And sometimes the choice that we think is the best choice, and maybe that choice was good to us before, but it turns sour in your mouth. It dry crumbles in your mouth. And I thought to myself, one, I am never comfortable enough to complain about food. That even if there is a hair in my food, there was definitely no hair in this food, but like at other restaurants, if there's a hair or anything, or if it was made wrong, like I just accept it, right? Like I am not here to make anybody feel bad. I'm not here to berate anybody for anything. That's dumb. That's not how I want to spend my life. It's one thing. But as I'm sitting and looking at this muffin, I'm like, this choice I made was a bad choice. I didn't know it was a bad choice when I made it, right? Like sometimes we know like the choices that we're making are maybe a bad choice. Maybe we should not be making that choice, right? Like, but I didn't know. I thought this choice was going to be perfectly fine, that it was going to like not have any consequences. Like it was going to be fine. It's just a muffin. But I made the conscious decision of I can either try to eat the rest of this muffin, right? Like I don't want to waste. I can throw the muffin away and not have a muffin today. Or I can go up and I can buy another muffin. I can make another choice. You know what I did? I went up there, pride aside, because that is also like a very prideful thing. When we know that we've made the wrong choice and we have to own up to it and we have to tell someone like, ooh, like I made the wrong choice in life and love and relationships and career, whatever. When we have to own up that we might have made a wrong mistake, that can be extremely difficult, right? Like that can be really, really hard to be honest, one, with yourself, to acknowledge, oof, I made a mistake, but also it can be hard to tell someone else that you made a mistake, right? Like to tell somebody else I made a mistake, but I was not gonna let that get in the way of my muffin. So I went up there and I said, hey, like, can I buy a second muffin? And they were like, sure, no problem. I could not believe how easy I had gotten away with this mistake. I know this is a very small, little, minuscule mistake, right? But it can be applied to the bigger mistakes in our life. It can be applied to the areas where we should have gone one way and we went another way. When the path forks and we went right and we should have went left. When I went up there and I told the barista and I was like, hey, can I buy another muffin? She didn't berate me, right? Like she didn't be like, second muffin, girl, you're too fat. No, she didn't say that, right? Like she might have thought it, I don't know. But I'd thrown the other muffin away anyways. I'd only gotten like 2 or 3 bites. It does not matter. I could have eaten 2 full muffins if I wanted to. The point is, she did not care. Sometimes we blow things up in our head where they are a huge deal. Oh my gosh, like we can't do this, we can't do that, like it's gonna be the end of the world. But I'm telling you, it is not as big of a deal as you are making it out to be. It is not going to have that great of an impact. I'm telling you, no matter how big the mistake you have made, there's always redemption from it. In this society right now, this day and age, we focus a lot on cancel culture. I'm telling you right now, as long as you are acknowledging the mistake that you made and are learning from the mistake that you made, you can grow from it. You are totally savable. You can be redeemed, and you can grow into another person, because it is not the moments in our life that define us, right? Like, it is not what happens to you in this life that defines who you are. What it is how you are growing from it, how you are becoming a different version, a different person of yourself from it. It's not the thing itself, right? It's your reaction to it. So if your reaction is positive and growth, acknowledging and just trying to be a better person, you will always have redemption and you can always move past it. There are so many things that I've done in my life where I get vastly embarrassed about, or I feel shame about, right? Like, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I did that. Like, whatever. It's not the end of the world. And I always think when I'm spiraling, I'm thinking, oh, that was a bad decision. That was a bad choice. That was this, that was that. I always think, but you know what? I'm still breathing. And as long as I have breath in my lungs, I am able to pivot. I'm able to reimagine. I'm able to grow from it. And so when I went up there and I asked for, hey, can I actually get a blueberry muffin? And I got my blueberry muffin and I sat down. It was a good muffin. And it helped rinse the taste out of the bad muffin. That bad muffin, it might have just not been sealed in a package, you know, like when they put them away for the night. Whatever it is, it could have just been overbaked 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. And the muffin did nothing wrong, right? Like, and whoever made it, it was a mistake, right? I'm not holding them against it. $4 is not gonna break me. It's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. But metaphorically, it was a huge deal in my brain that when you make a choice and it's not the choice that you want to stay with, it's not a choice you want to live with, or I didn't have to take that muffin home, I didn't have to eat that muffin, I didn't have to continue to wallow in the mistake of the choice, right? Because when I had gone up there, I was like, should I get this one or this one or this one? Like, I did not know what I wanted in the moment. And sometimes you're not going to know what you want in the moments. It's not until after, they say hindsight is 2020, when you're able to get outside of like peering into this little piece of the puzzle, when you're able to look at the big picture, when you're able to get out of this microscopic lens and look entirely at everything and not just this one little itty bitty piece of the puzzle, that's when you think, oh, like this choice had to be made so that it could domino effect for the next thing, or set me up for this situation, or give me the opportunity to meet this person, right? Because I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. And it is not why it happened to you, right? Like, you don't have to know why it happened to you. All you can do is say, how can I think about this in a positive way where I don't feel any shame about it, where I can appreciate it for what it was, right? Like, I didn't know that a muffin could then inspire a podcast episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's how you take it. I could have said, oh my gosh, this muffin is freaking horrible. If I was a different person with different character, I could have gone up there and said, this muffin sucks. Did you leave it out in the freaking sunlight? It's dry as a Sahara desert. I want my money back. I want a different muffin. Like, this is ridiculous. No, I didn't. That's not part of my character. That's not something I did. It's how you react to it. It's what's inside of you that is going to be amplified. And if your first reaction was to, get upset or to be angry at yourself for a choice that you made, like, then you need to be doing the inner work on, why did I react that way? Is it really that deep, But for me, I was like, okay, like, I didn't want this muffin. I didn't like this muffin. This muffin wasn't what I expected. And there's no way of me knowing, because all the muffins before that have been good muffins. And the muffin I had after that was a good muffin. So there was no way that I would have known before I took a bite out of it that it was going to be a good or bad muffin. And there's going to be choices in our lives where we don't know if it's going to be a good or a bad choice. We just have to make the choice and then adjust, okay? It can be messy, it can be crumbly. It does not define you. You can grow, you can move, you can make another choice. You always, always, always can make another choice and to do the better thing or to pick again. It's not Hogwarts, okay? Like, you don't have the sorting hat on. It's not gonna put you in a house, right? Like, you're able to make the decision. We have choices every single day. Some days you're gonna make the right choice. Some days you're gonna make the wrong choice. It's what you do the next day. It's what you do in the next moment. It's what you do the next week or the next time you have the opportunity to make a choice again. So I know this story was a little silly. I know that it was a lot of muffin talk, okay? Like a lot of breakfast talk, but I hope that it has inspired you to think about your choices differently, to think about your life path differently, to think about what you could be doing or not, and also to take the pressure off of yourself, because you do not have to know everything in this exact moment, because you have to have those experiences. You have to have the good choices and the bad choices to know which is which. You have to have an opinion. You have to know. And the only way to do that is if you're going to make a bad choice, right? Like, and gain that experience and gain that insight. So go get yourself a muffin and a coffee today to celebrate today's Fast Friday. Thank you for subscribing. And until next time, bye.